Hey friends, so welcome to DBC Inc. Live. We are so excited to join you again for another Thursday Night Live. I have with me Diana Gill. Actually, she's Diana Smith now. I'm super excited to have her on the show. She's going to be talking to us a little bit in just a little bit. But Diana, before we ever even get started, let's just let you share a little bit about you, what you do, and maybe something exciting that happened this week. And as you are joining in, please put your name over in the comment section because you will be entered to win. Every single comment is entered to win Copy Righteous, and it's an amazing book. Diana's going to be talking to us a little bit about some awesome things within it, but you definitely want to. And actually, I think she's going to be shouting out another book, so we might have 2 book giveaways tonight. So you definitely want to get those comments over in the comment section. I might just be feeling really generous. So, Diana, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you. Tell us what you do, and share something awesome that happened this week.
All right, so my name is Diana Smith, and I'm the author of Copy Righteous. Really pumped to be here. I feel like it's a little mini reunion because I haven't talked to Tara in a while, so we were just jamming backstage, kind of catching up a little bit. So excited to be here. I am the Director of Digital Learning for the Indiana Department of Education. It's like my dream job. I really kind of imagined that being like the job of my life. And I started that job in May. So I've just been really enjoying getting my feet wet in that role. And, you know, we live in a home with 4 kids and there's always so much going on. So when Tara was just like introducing me and she was like, tell us something exciting that happened, I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I have an honest, exciting thing from the week. The thing that comes to my mind is that I was a little worried that my son might have COVID the other day, and I gave him a test and he did not have COVID. And that is my honest reaction to the best moment of my week, Tara. I know that's
a very exciting statement, honestly. I know that we have had that similar things happening here in our house over the past 4 weeks, and home COVID test, and we're just like, and then it's like a celebration. It's like a real celebration when nobody has it. And we just have a common cold or just a sinus infection. You're like, yes.
Right.
When did we used to celebrate that? But I get it, girl. I'm excited for your son. I'm glad that he's not sick because it feels like so much unhealthiness happening all over the place. And I'm sorry if you're dealing with that. We love you. We hope you get well. But as we are continuing on, Diana, that was just great. I know I always bring these questions on people and they're like, man, can you send this a little sooner? Because, whoa, I don't know what happened good. I would say what happened good. What's exciting that happened to me this week is, I just feel like Dave and I have been like brainstorming just so many things for DBC Inc. And I feel like in the last 4 weeks, it feels like 6 months worth of planning stuff is actually starting. Like we're seeing the wheels like get rolling. We're seeing that snowball kind of building up and rolling down the hill. And that to me has been super exciting to kind of witness. And both he and I have been planning this, in our team meetings. And so it's just been exciting to like actually see it and be like, oh my goodness, that's because of this. That's because of this little tiny thing that we planned like a while back. So yeah, I guess that's my exciting piece right now. Yeah, share something exciting over here. You're getting some snow, Kimberly. I don't want any more snow. We don't have a lot of snow in Kansas, but I'm good with it. Just melted and I'm kind of good with that. I'll keep it. So we are going to dive into some great content with Diana. She has some wonderful things to talk to us about tonight, about creating responsibly, about being responsible in the classroom. And if people don't know a little bit about your book, Diana, I definitely am going to give one away. What can they expect from your book? I know you're going to be shouting out another book. Talked about that backstage. So I think I'm going to give away 2 books tonight.
Cool.
To a participant that's over in the comment section. So get those comments over there. Thank you, Sean, for keeping it going. And Diana, maybe just give them a really quick summary of what they can expect from Copy Righteous if they win that one.
Sure. So Copy Righteous is It's about copyright, but not really. It's kind of my story of being a classroom educator. I found myself not really being the teacher I knew I could be because I was kind of stuck in the scripted curriculum. And so when I started to turn to digital resources and creating my own content and curating my own content, I started to see this kind of thread that as I got better at that, and as I understood how to be responsible in curating and creating and sharing and remixing and all of those things, I got better at designing as my understanding of copyright grew. And so it kind of is about like following the rules of copyright as a way to break the rules of education. And I was able to be really proud of myself the more that I could create and find my own things and break out of that shell of the scripted curriculum.
I honestly love this book. I think you did such a brilliant job because it's not, you think copyright, you're like, oh, that's boring. Like, I don't want to be told no, but it's not like that. Like, I feel like the book is just written in a way that's liberating. It's like, it's liberating because you have all this freedom to do the thing and to do it responsibly. And I think you did just brilliant, not just because you're one of our authors, but it's just brilliantly written. And so if you want this book, you should click the link above and below this video. Check it out for yourself. With that link, you can dive into, actually, if you go to our DBC bookstore link, which I think is what is linked above and below this video, you can take a preview of the book for free for the first few chapters. So you definitely want to check that out. All right. So without further ado, let's dive into some content tonight. I know you have some things you want to share with us, Diana, so I'll let you take the show on the road.
All right. So in Copy Righteous, I talk a lot about this idea of doing better once you know better. It's kind of a through line of the book. And that idea does kind of assume that we as educators are always searching for ways to do better. And I think that most of us say that we are, but I kind of want to call something out and just be honest about it right in this moment. Right now, we have to be really careful with balancing that encouragement of our own growth and educator growth, because of course we always do have a responsibility to grow as educators, but I think we have to practice a little bit of grace right now. If we don't have the capacity to challenge ourselves constantly, I think that's really okay. And I just wanted to kind of share my reflections on that. I've been thinking about it a lot in the work that I do professionally, because a lot of the work that I do is about professional development. But I just want to keep that in the back of my mind that, like, if people don't have the capacity to grow and learn right now, how do we continue to support them without overwhelming? And so I just wanted to be reflective about that before I share what I wanted to talk about tonight. Copy Righteous has this idea that we have to be responsible as educators. And right now in this moment, as we are all developing content and delivering content in hybrid models and in blended spaces and completely virtually, I think we have to point ourselves towards UDL, or Universal Design for Learning. And so there's a lot to talk about with UDL, but in keeping true to what I just said about not overwhelming, I just wanted to share with you just 3 really quick practical things to think about. Even if you're brand new to UDL, or you've learned a ton about UDL and you really have dived right into it, these are just 3 things to think about as you design tomorrow that help you design for all learners in mind. And so the first takeaway I'll share with you is anytime you create a video, I would encourage you to upload it to YouTube, even if it's unlisted and you have to share the link for someone to find your video. What uploading it does is it automatically adds captions and transcripts. And this provides students with the ability to change the font size, the language, change the volume and the speed of the playback of the video. And that allows students to customize the display, and it gives them options over that auditory information that's being passed along to them. And that's in line with, those 3 principles of UDL, which really asks that educators are providing multiple means of engagement, of representation, and of action and expression. So upload those videos to YouTube. Huge fan of teacher created videos. And I think we all got a crash course in creating our own videos over the last couple of years. The second thing I want to leave you with is we know that blended learning is successful when students have some level of autonomy over pace, content, time, all of that. And so one suggestion I'll say about adding that student autonomy is asking students to identify what type of feedback they want. So I think we've gotten used to making sure students can pick how they learn, how fast they learn, what they're learning about. But what about the feedback component? And so maybe when you are giving students feedback, they have 2 or 3 options of how they can receive that feedback from you. They indicate how they want it, and then that's how you give it to them so that they have some autonomy over that as well. And then the third thing that I'll talk about with UDL, if you're planning and designing with UDL in mind, then you're thinking a lot about goals and making those goals really clear for students. And so what I'll say to that is getting really clear on how you are defining learning goals. And one thing to think about is kind of separating the means from the end inside of that goal. So here's an example. Telling students to write a paragraph isn't really a learning goal. It is just the end of the product that you're trying to get them to create. But really what you're asking them to do is to show mastery of a more specific defined goals. So keep that in mind. And when you're defining goals, allow your goals to make it possible for students to take multiple paths to get there to show that mastery. And so a practical example of that is encouraging kids to help define those goals too. So maybe when you're coming up with those goals and your goal setting, do that with your students, and then adding in a tool such as Flipgrid so that students can explain both the goal and then define how they plan to show the mastery of it. That is like the quickest kind of just quick wins for UDL that I wanted to share that I think are easy to implement tomorrow. But of course, you could talk about UDL much longer than I just did. And I recently read UDL and Blended Learning by Katie Novak and Caitlin Tucker. And this book is an absolute must for right in this moment. So I just wanted to shout this book out. It's brilliant. Oh, Tara, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. The boys are working out downstairs, so I'm trying to like spare you some of the great things that's happening right now. But I was just going to reiterate what Diana was talking about. The 3 things, like 1, the YouTube video. Love that idea. We're always making YouTube videos. It feels like, especially if you're back to hybrid or you're back to remote learning, you're making them anyway. Like if you're putting videos out there, why not just upload them? You can always upload them as unlisted. I love the idea that the end user can change how they receive that content and make it a little more usable. And that's work off of you. Like all you had to do was take the video you're already making and upload it. So easy. The second piece is designing how, or allowing the end user to have this opportunity to decide how they get the feedback. I love this. And I feel like I'm constantly surveying our audience, you guys out there, the readers, but also the authors, like, how do you want to receive this content? Not necessarily feedback. How do you want to receive this content, period? You know, what's best for you? Is it email? Is it email with a video? Is it like through stories, through text? Like, what do you want? And I think, you know, when we can reach the end user's needs, how amazing that is. And there's so many tools out there to make it doable that we're not, you know, it's not like we're making a dinner for, you know, every single one of our kids wants something different to eat. So you have to stand at the stove for 5 hours. It's not necessarily that way, because sometimes the way they want to receive the feedback, it's fairly simple. And there's usually an app or something that's going to help us to organize that feedback just a little bit better. So I appreciate those 2 particularly. I feel like those are definitely 2 that you can implement tomorrow and make it really easy to give everybody some choice, like meet your learners where they're at, you know, without too much extra prep. Because Diana started this call with, I know we need some grace right now. Like we are overwhelmed. So if you're at the place where I just can't take another thing, like, oh my gosh, well, this isn't necessarily another thing. It's just like literally just putting it in a different place, you know, and allowing the end user to receive it in a different way. So love those. Thank you. And thanks for shouting out Katie Novak's book and Caitlin. They just did an outstanding job. UDL and Blended Learning is one of our sister company Impress books, and we are just super proud of that one. Dave can drop that one over. He already did. He is ahead of me. Over in the comment section, you guys can check that one out too. With that link, you should be able to go and read the first few chapters for free. If you can't find it on that link, go to our daveburgessconsulting.com bookstore and you will definitely find it there. So Diana, wow, that's awesome stuff. If you guys have any questions for Diana, drop them over in the, yes, I know, Melissa, like we love you. Air hugs for all those that needing some grace today. I get it. So we will be wrapping up the call pretty quickly, but if you have any questions for Diana, you just want to throw in some comments, drop those over in the comment section. We will be giving away a copy of Copy Righteous, but we're also going to give away one of the UDL books because Diana so sweetly shouted it out. I mean, how could we not? Just feel generous, and I'm sure Dave would approve. So yeah, let's see what they're saying. Yes, thanks, Janice. Also, if you think about, I like what Nick said over here, uploading YouTube makes it easier to find it in the future. Yeah, exactly, right? Giving it a title and also just sharing the link. I feel like that just makes it easier. Sometimes I can't find stuff in my drive or everywhere that I have videos saved. So yeah, super helpful. Any other questions over here? I just want to say I'm obsessed with the cover. I know, right? Dave has some socks, and I'm obsessed with those. So that kind of gave us some ideas, and I think that maybe Shelly got her idea for the DBC socks from those copyrights. Oh, there you go. You got your DBC socks. Well, Dave has some Copy Righteous socks. I have them too, the pink ones. Love, love, love those. And yeah, needing a new book. Always need a new book. Speaking of books, Diana, you were going to talk a little bit about books, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to share a couple of just in the moment kind of things with you all. I want to save this for the last if we have time, but I want to give you a really great Valentine's Day idea. If you're stuck on what to get your person for Valentine's Day, that's how I show love, by gift giving. And so of course, with Valentine's Day being like, 24 days away, I'm already planning. So I want to show you that. But I'm reading two things for pleasure outside of what I'm reading for work and for education. One, I got for my birthday. My husband got me Margaret Atwood's new poetry book. It's called Dearly. And for real, I was crying. If a book's going to make you cry, then you know it's good. So within the first couple of pages, I had tears rolling down my face. So if you are a Margaret Atwood fan, if you have read Handmaid's Tale, or if you watch the show, I would grab this for sure. And it's so pretty. And then over the summer, I listened to Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. And in the book, she talks a lot about the process that Barack Obama went through to write his very first book after college. And that's Dreams from My Father. And I am just reading this thing so slowly on purpose because I want to remember every single word of it. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's what I'm reading for fun right now. Tara, what are you reading right now?
Yeah, I love it that you shared what you're reading for fun. I made a commitment that this year I was going to, and most of the people inside this live join me every Thursday. So you've heard this already, but I was going to commit to reading some books for fun, outside of DBC Inc. books, which are fantastic, but I get to read almost all of them. And I'm super excited about that. I love that part of my job. But we just finished up The Racketeer from John Grisham. It was really good, a murder mystery. A little slow. It was a really great start and kind of a slow middle, but how it ended was pretty twisted, and I loved it. It was great. I won't spoil it for anybody who wants to read it. And the second book that I'm still working on, I actually just downloaded on Audible because I was so quick to read a John Grisham book. So I'm working on The Shoe Dog still from Phil Knight. He is the creator of Nike. And so he shares his memoir of how it started way back in 1962 and how it started with just this crazy idea that he had in school. He wrote a paper about it, the Nike shoes, basically, and the shoe idea. And people kind of laughed at him, but he had some supportive parents and they tried to help him to find his way. But he talks about every step of the way and how it took quite a bit of time to get up and going. And now it's just like Nike. Like, who doesn't know about Nike? It's just a crazy, exciting story. So I've been kind of reading. That's what I've been reading lately. My next one I have on Audible. What's your next read? Are you still working on those two?
Yeah, I'm reading these two.
Yeah.
And I have Less is my next one.
Less. Oh, gotcha. My next one on my Audible is Matthew McConaughey's Green Light. So I'm excited about that one. Have you read it?
Oh my gosh. I highly recommend listening to it because he reads it and I devoured it. I thought that was incredible. It's a really inspiring read. So
It's
yay.
next up. So got to finish up my Shoe Dog and then I'm on it. Shoe Dog's good though. It's really good. I know, right, Dave? I should never announce this when I have my boss right here in the comments. I'm reading both. Like, that counts. Dave, you encourage us to read wide. I don't know where we're supposed to get the time, but you do encourage that. I'm blaming you for this one. All right. So I'm curious about this Valentine stuff, man. I want to know. And
Okay.
Diana just got married in June.
In June, yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's Diana Smith now. And so when we got on here, I was like, congratulations. She's like, that was in June. I'm like, oh, it's been a while since we chatted.
Yeah. So please forgive me in advance if this is very strange, but I just have been laughing and thinking about this so much that I just want to share it with all of you. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah.
I've never done this on this platform, so hopefully I don't mess up. In fact, I'll tell you, I had this bookmarked on my computer because I was looking at it and I went to send someone that I work with a link and I accidentally sent this to them. And I was like, oh no, that's not what I meant to send. I'm so sorry, but she got a kick out of it. So anyway, props, like shout out to my sister because she's the one that brought this to my attention. She lives in New York City and she and I just got such a kick out of this idea for Valentine's Day. And if you like socks, just wait, okay? So for Valentine's Day, you can name a Madagascar hissing cockroach in honor of your love. No, it's amazing. Okay. In honor of your loved one. And there are all kinds of different options. You could get a beanie. You could get roach socks. I feel like I'm the only one in this conversation that is obsessed with this idea, but it gets better. For $60, not only can you get socks and a beanie and name a cockroach, but you can have a virtual encounter with a hissing cockroach for your Valentine's Day. I mean, Ryan, if you're listening, I hope you are. This is what I would like for Valentine's Day.
This girl wants some roaches. She's into this. How about a roach? Oh, yeah. And Nick is in Canada, so she calls them twerks. Is that right? Am I pronouncing it?
Because I said beanie and everyone has a different. I heard that some people call them toboggans.
So you like roaches?
I don't. I just think this is hilarious.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't like them at all.
This is awesome. I grew up in Southeast Texas, and I mean, the roaches there were like huge and they could fly, and they were always so scary. So I think just the idea of roaches kind of scares me. Thanks to Nick. But that's funny. That's awesome. So check it out. If you're interested in that, do go check it out. That would be a very fun present. Definitely one you have to like, what? This is exciting. Yes, I'm always trying to look for just different things. Gerald and I have been married this past year was 23 years. So I'm always like, okay, so what do you do now? Like at this point, we're just gonna sit in and watch Netflix. How's that sound? I think a roach beanie might be in the future for D. He would probably crush it. He would rock it. Awesome. Well, if you have any ideas out there for Valentine's Day as we're wrapping this up, be sure and put them over there. I do have a couple of announcements before we close out. First of all, I would like to share the hook of the week. If you did not get your email yesterday, you definitely want to check that out. Let me pull it up real fast. It ends in like 10 minutes, 5 minutes tops. The boys want to turn up the radio. We're live with a bunch of people. I get it. Can you guys see my screen okay? Yes. So the hook of the week is the Mozart hook. So this is straight out of Teach Like a Pirate with Dave Burgess. And he just wants to know, like, how are you incorporating music into your lesson, the activity, your meeting, your professional development? Music just makes almost everything better. That's why the boys want to turn their music up so they can work out loud, better. But music, how do you incorporate it into what you do on the daily? Go find his tweet over on Twitter at Burgess Dave, or find it at DBC_Inc. and let us know what you are doing to share some music in your area of learning, wherever that is. And then I have one more thing I wanted to share. Let me unshare this one and get to the other one. We have one more announcement before we end here, Diana. Thanks for hanging with me just a minute. Our other one is Dr. Gill Seiler, who is the author of Thrive Through the 5. She is offering a free webinar on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Dave will drop the link over in the comment section. It's free to register. You do want to reserve your tickets. Those seats fill up really fast. You're going to have so many in the webinar, but please do join in. She's going to be sharing some awesome tips on thriving, finding balance, kind of a little bit about what Dane was talking about at the onset of this call. Like, how do we take our work to the next level when we're totally burnt out? And she has some really cool strategies and ideas she's going to be sharing with us in that webinar. She is an amazing educator. She was a superintendent for a long time, and I feel like she just has so much a wealth of wisdom to be able to share with us. So you do want to check that out. Dave and Shelley will be hosting it. It's going to be incredible. It's only 30 minutes. There'll be stuff you can take away immediately and apply it in your life. It's kind of like a live PD, but even better. And the best part is every single participant is going to receive a code that's up to $30 off of some DBC stuff. So you definitely want to check that out. That'll be it. I don't want to keep you guys so much longer, but Diana, this has been an amazing call. And I know that people are going to grab your book. They're going to want to connect with you. So how can they connect with you out in the world? And especially if they get the Roach beanie and the Roach socks, they're definitely going to want to tag you on some of that stuff. So how can they connect with you?
Definitely on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Diana R. Smith 18.
Awesome.
So I would love to stay connected with you all.
Yeah. So do tag her. She uses the hashtag copyrighteous for the book. So you do want to check that out. And if you join us for any of the other things, you do practice the hook of the week and you just can't remember where you're supposed to comment, just post it out on Twitter and tag Dave. He'll be sure and give you some love. And we'll be looking for those hooks and featuring some of them in our next email that goes out to our followers. So thank you so much. Dave has dropped Diana's handle over in the comment section. Diana, thank you for this amazing tips. I can't wait to see people uploading their videos straight up to YouTube, and also offering some variety for that feedback. And yeah, this has been awesome. Balance is totally possible. Yes, it's hard to do, but we need to take care of it. We definitely have to take care of ourselves. That's the most important part. So thank you everyone for joining tonight. We'll see you next week, same place, same time, different guest, but hopefully we'll see you a little sooner in the webinar. Remember, this will not be featured for everyone on YouTube and Facebook. You have to sign up and get a seat, and then you will join in the webinar email. We'll give you a special link that lets you join into that webinar. So you do want to check that out. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.